Today we will be learning how to do a targeted random sample on VoterListsOnline.com. And typically when clients come to us with this request, we'll have something in this type of breakout here. We have a 3-tiered sample based on ethnic code, gender, and age bands with the numeric values broken out in this manner. Now, based on this right here, for the purposes of this demo, we'll go through, pull our sample, and actually produce a sample based on that bracket. Alright, and going over to our query, one thing that we highly recommend is that whatever criteria that you have for your sample breakout, you include that in the actual query itself. So for the purposes of that sample, we had gender, we had age, and we had ethnicity, and we've selected all of those components here for the query. What this does is makes the data entry portion of the sample much easier, since only these fields will show up and no other values will show up. Now we'll just go ahead and proceed through the checkout just like we do on our normal sampling. And it will also produce the count quickly. And we'll name our sample. And click next through that. And we'll select targeted random sample on this screen. And once we select that, it'll fill in over here on the right. And on the sample, we have the age bands of 18 to 30, 31 to 49, and 50 plus. And in order to do that, what we'll have to do is set up what is called inferred target groups. And we'll have to build this based on those age bands that we have in our Excel spreadsheet. So we'll click on Inferred Target Group. And I have one that's already built, so for the purposes of just showing you what it looks like, I will definitely use this one, which will show over here on the left side. And what you will do to build a new one is to click the New button, but we'll go ahead and click the Edit button, and you'll see the exact same thing here. For the base column, leave that as age, since the age band is what we're looking at. The expression and field name options here you can leave as is. The description, you just name it whatever it is that you're actually building for future reference. And whatever you put here will eventually show up here on the left side. So if you're pulling multiple samples throughout the course of a year, you can definitely preset these and be able to pull them without having to go through this process every single time. And what we now want to do is start to build our age bands here. So under Values, we will just click Add, input our low value, our high value, and then the text for whatever the description is for that. And for each band, you will need to click Add, and each one of those you'll fill in. Once you have all of those filled in, you'll just click the Save button. And again, that will be saved over here to be able to use from this point on. Now what we want to do is base all of this information and select our target groups to be able to break out the numbers. And since we have 3 target groups, we'll go ahead and check those. The first one being ethnic code, the second one being gender, and then the third one is the inferred target group that we created, and it will be at the bottom in red text, age bands. And with all 3 of those selected, we'll click the Allocate button. And what it will do, based on the overall universe of our query, it will break out on each one of those categories there. And I'll maximize the screen here just to show you what it looks like. We have our ethnic codes, then by gender and by age band, and then the occurs value is the ceiling for each one of these lines here. This is the highest value number of records for each one of those. And then we have a sample size field where you enter in the numeric value, or if you do not have it broken out by numeric value but have percentage, you have the sample size percentage option over here on the far right. So you can just plug in the percent number and whole numbers there, and it will break it out for you as well. So what we'll do now is go ahead and do our data entry based on our Excel spreadsheet. And we'll start up here at the top. And we'll move down to the next ethnic group. And if you'll notice, going back, I had a sample size need of 200, but it only occurred 94 times. So it took the 94 as the max, and now you'll see down here at the bottom, this is where I'm a little short as far as where I'm going here. So what you can do is one of three things. You can take the number of values as they are here and just proceed to generate your sample. Or you can go back and supplement in the areas that you need. In the next bracket here for Hispanic males, we can click on this and increase the value here to make up for the numbers that we're lacking in that area. The same goes with the Hispanic females. Now, just something that you may see in frequent cases, typically when you have a multi-tiered breakout, and especially along ethnic lines, you will see the 18 to 30 demographic come up short. We know with the movement of the younger generation moving to cell phones instead of landlines, this is where you'll probably come across this more frequently than not. And to actually back up one step, for the total desired sample size, we do have a 10,000 record max. So what we're trying to do is to match the top and the bottom numbers here. And we'll just keep going with our sample. And you'll see the values gradually increasing down here as I input the information there. And you'll see here where it looks like that I'll come up short, and it's essentially because of the Hispanic 18 to 30 demographic. And again, you have the options of being able to supplement with the records that are there in other brackets. You can make up for it in those areas. And if you're happy with the selection here, we can go ahead and just go ahead and check out. So we'll go next and then finish. And what it will do is go ahead and generate the file based on the requirements that we've set. And typically, if it's a large universe and you have multiple tiers, it could take some time, so please be patient with that. Something of this size is pretty basic, and it should not take any more than about 30 seconds to generate. And that will be the targeted random sample.